Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your August 2020 reading. I'm going to just get straight into the reading. For those of you who don't know, I do have that August reading special going on, and that's a 1 hour reading with me for half price. Simply click on the eye. Bear with me, y'all. Right there. And that'll take you over to the website. When you get there, look for on the main menu for tarot consultations. Next to that is a little pull down menu, an arrow. Click that arrow and that'll pull it down, and it should be the first item listed. That special is going to be ending on October 19th. So far, it's been great. I've been doing some of them by Zoom, so I actually get to see some of your faces, which is really, really awesome. And so I want to thank you guys that have already participated. Also, let me give a shout out to that person who came up underneath the Pisces video to remind me that the eclipse wasn't in 2018, it was 2017, the Great American Eclipse. So thank you, whoever that was. And so, man, y'all are, look, barely getting readings because I got so much in my brain going on right now. I don't even know what day it is. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm using the Radiant White deck. I am clarifying with La Vida Sibila, and we will pull a Golden Nostradamus and an Angel Answer card. I don't know if I did that for the first few readings, and I may only just pull one. I'm not sure. We'll just see what the cards have to say. So let's go ahead and turn the cards, turn the thing around. I'm in the middle of cooking dinner as well, so yes. And let's get started with the reading. I've already done some shuffling and meditation on your sign. Aries, you have your ruling planet, Aries Sun in particular. You have an Aries rising. So if you're an Aries Sun, you have your ruling planet Mars in your first house. You ought to be hot, okay? If this is in your 12th house or your rising sign, okay, your private life ought to be hot. Okay, now, I don't know where the moon would fall because your Aries could fall anywhere, your moon could be anywhere, but just know your ruling planet Mars is afoot and he is doing some stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and lay 9 cards down and get started with the reading. 4 of Cups. Now, that's just like a Aries because y'all get bored so easy. I know my daughter's an Aries, okay? 9 of Cups. Oh, well, not so bad after all. Some of you may have decided to go ahead and jump in on whatever that offer is. Oh, the Tower. Interestingly enough, this is Martian and Uranian energy. Fire and explosions and electricity. Okay, not always a bad card, so don't freak out when you see it. The World card. Oh, okay. Wow, the Magician. Wow. This is actually pretty good. The 4 of Swords. So now I have 2 4s. 2 4s speak to a safe and secure time period. One of you, the other meaning of 2 4s is one of you. I think it's one of you are craving more excitement. Let me make sure if that's right. Nope, house repairs and looking to move house. Now, see, that's what I started to say to begin with. So, a safe and secure time period with 2 4. That's one of the meanings. The other one is looking to move house or a house move. Well, something came out of the blue and kind of threw a wrench in those plans. The 3 of Swords. The 9 of Swords. Isn't that interesting? And the Death card. Well, because I have the Magician in the center, to me this looks like someone purposely blew this up. Okay? Completely. They did it on purpose. It is something that they conjured up. They set their will and their intention to it, and they did it. Okay? Now, I have 4 major arcanas. 4 major arcana cards, 2 cups, and 3 swords. So this really is all about words, text messages, emails, thoughts, perceptions, belief, and ideas, stuff flying back and forth, and emotions. I got the 2 cups. The rest of it is swords. Indeed. What is underneath the deck? The High Priestess. Wow, that's interesting. The High Priestess is an interesting card, and sometimes I have difficulty in reading her, but that's because she's quiet. Most of my cards talk to me, but sometimes the High Priestess is always quiet. She doesn't say anything, so I have to kind of dig down deep to figure out why she's presenting herself. For one thing, she usually will represent a very, very smart, highly intellectual female, someone who's very studious, who knows a lot, may not talk a lot, sits and watches things, is very astute and observant, can also impart some good information on you, but that's if she feels that you are worthy. She holds the keys to the library. I have seen this card show up sometimes when women are having female issues. Maybe they're, I don't want to use the word frigid, but because that's really not a good word, but they have low sexual drive or low sexual energy. I've even seen her show up as that woman behind the scenes that you didn't know anything about. Now, she can sometimes represent mothers, but this would be the kind of mom that really you never was able to get a handle on. You never really understood her. She always seemed kind of distant. Okay? Seen that. So, now interestingly, there's this other message of a moving of a house. 2 9s can speak to a change of address or house move. Yeah? But 2 9s also, if I'm not mistaken, this 2 9s is the idea of, yeah, one of you need to spend more time alone. That's what I told you about the 2 4s before. So I don't know if somebody has moved out, or you got an offer. That offer was everything that you wanted, but then literally, I honestly feel somebody blew this up. There are no court cards here, okay? But I can tell you that the energy coming off is that they did that on purpose. And the death card has come out to say that this is the end. This cannot go back to the way that it was. It simply can't. And I don't know, it kind of feels as though it was done in retaliation. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have this figure here who is sitting underneath the tree. He seems to be okay with his 3 cups, but an offer comes along. Sometimes this card is about being bored, or what's being offered to you is not exciting enough for you to take it. But the thing with this card is sometimes you need to consider all of the offers before you determine whether or not you're going to turn it down. I think for some of you, it was this thing neared an end. It was a graduation and a completion, and maybe you turned it down because really it was just a bit more than maybe you could deal with. I feel that others of you absolutely took it because it's exactly what you wanted. But then, circumstances beyond your control, it blew up. Okay? Again, this goes back to the eclipse in Leo back in I think that was in Leo in 2017. It might have been in 2018. Hell, I don't know. Y'all do the damn Google search. But it was the eclipses in Leo. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is because of this card. This kind of speaks to the idea that you see on the card here, we have Taurus and Scorpio, Leo and Aquarius. And so this is a completion of a cycle, and it does go back to those eclipses. I don't know if it was the Lionsgate eclipses in 2018 or if it's the Great Eclipse in 2017. Look it up. Okay? Even this, after taking some time to think about it, there was some regret and some sorrow here. But then at the same time, and this is what I'm finding to be kind of odd, even though there's some regret, maybe some sorrow, maybe even some bitterness here, okay, there's a fear or anxiety or worry I don't know if someone's worried about it ending, but the truth of the matter is this tells me all I need to know. Whatever this thing was, it completely knocked you off your socks. This card can sometimes be that and I want you to pay attention. Out of all of the cards in the tarot, the Tower card is the only depiction of a man-made structure. And so man-made structures, if they are not necessarily in the literal sense, these are the things that as humans we construct for ourselves, that we build ourselves. You know, you're building a house on sand, or you're building whatever it is that you're building, something that has been constructed by man that ultimately always crumbles down. It has to, so that it can make way for something new. Okay? I think somebody took some time out after this over here, but then this is the end. It can't go back to the way it was before. It will never go back to the way it was before. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to pick a card to take a look at, just the one that's speaking to me the weirdest, is this Nine of Cups. Because the Magician sits underneath it, it's almost as if it's saying to me that, honestly, this looks like a revenge kind of a thing. It really does. As I say, the energy coming off of it is that it was done on purpose. All right? Maybe some of you know that. Maybe this is the recognition of that. You know, but the bottom line is, yeah, they weren't sure it was going to work. That's what that is. But the whole thing was designed to shake things up, to complete the cycle, so that we could end it. That's what this is telling me. First thing I'm going to do before I look at any of this with the, whatchamacall, is to see what I can pick up the pip cards here as they relate to these four major arcana cards. And we will start in the suit of cups. We will start with the Four of Cups. We go from a 4 to an 8. Nothing about the Wheel of Fortune. The Nine of Cups never tells me anything, but I can tell you it is always looked upon as the wish card. And if that's the case, this tells you that your wish is imploded in a bad way. What I'm going to say about this, and the reason why I said I'm going to look at that card, because it's reading the energies coming off of it like it's reversed. In which case, the keywords are complacency, false optimism, poor judgment, mistakes, errors, imperfections, vanity, and a lack of humility. Reverse, it implies that someone is becoming complacent because all is well is going at the time. It warns you that all may not be as it seems. Situations may not be as secure as you assume, and friendships not as close as you may like. It can indicate that you may have been selfish and careless in victory, leading to mistakes being made. It may also be an indication that your wishes will not be coming to fruition at this time. It may be telling of insufficient funds for a personal need or project, or that your plans will not go accordingly due to insufficient funds. You will have to wait for more auspicious circumstances and better timing. It may be a warning to be careful of what you wish for, as you just may get it. It is a warning for you to be careful about what you ask for and be absolutely positive of what you really want. It can indicate that something or someone is directly interfering with your good fortune that is meant to be heading your way. This may be from within yourself or from an outside source, and a reluctance to enjoy the moment with fears of the future, poverty, and fears of success may all be present. I think it was a fear of, I don't know what the fear is, but I think that the person actually, they've succeeded in what they were doing. Now, does that mean, you're blameless? The Magician card is a card of the self and the ego. And I've seen people sometimes sabotage themselves just when they're really about to do something. Okay? because they do have a fear of success. So it reads like two things. Okay? One, it's caused by somebody else. Two, it could be that you played a larger role in it than you realize. Okay? What I'm looking for. Let's look at these swords. The Four of Swords. Nothing about the Four of Swords. The Three of Swords. Next to the World. It is informing you that a karmic situation is coming to an end, but with it comes a promise of a brighter future. That's what this is. Okay, see the light, the sun shining in the back? Okay? Not even kings can escape, the hand of death. You can beg, you can plead, but eventually all things come to an end. But once that ending has come about, what it does is it leaves room for some new growth. This tells me that when this collapsed, it happened quickly, out of the blue, unexpectedly, and nothing was left. But what happens when this card appears in a reading for you is that it clears the ground for you to begin again. That is the karmic lesson being integrated. It is. That's it. Yeah? The Nine of Swords. Oh, wow. Now, it is not next to the High Priestess, okay? But here it is. And this card says, when the Nine of Swords appears with the High Priestess, it is telling you to be prepared to face certain truth. It asks you to have no fear, and this will only hinder you. It is time to face facts and take responsibility. It brings a message that you must be prepared to face truth and to not be afraid or fearful, because you can't stop this. These are not things that you have any control over. Okay? Not at all. And so I don't know if the Nine of Cups energy, when I told you that it's the only one that's kind of feeling kind of weird, is that you yourself became complacent, and in that complacency you underestimated someone or the situation. Okay? And by underestimating it, the person was able to take advantage of that and strike. I'm going to take a look at this Nine of Cups. The Prigione. The Vecchia Signora. And the Riunione. Now, the Prigione speaks to the idea of someone being stuck or chained or bound, whether it's through circumstances of their own making or not. And that sometimes people will have situations where there's, they may feel secure and safe and secure in that. But by the same token, if you want to free yourself from that situation, you have to get up and you have to move. There's the window of opportunity, right? There's the banister for you to lean on to give you that support. There's the vessel that says you have all of the wisdom and the knowledge that you need. And then it's the steps, 3 of them. So there are 3 things perhaps that you should have done that you did not do. Okay? Same thing with the La Vecchia Signora. When she shows up, sometimes she'll show up and throw you off as a person. But this is reading about the idea of somebody who's doesn't want things to change. They're steeped in tradition. They think everything's the same. This can lead you to complacency. And it has to do with some kind of meeting. I don't know if this is a date or if it's a meeting. Now, for others of you, I just get the sense that the person didn't show up. Like maybe they offered you, you accepted, yeah, this is going to be everything I wanted, and you got there and they didn't even bother to show up. Okay? But it's only because I think there's this feeling of complacency coming off. Like maybe you didn't do your research, or maybe you, like I said, it keeps coming across as you underestimated the person or the situation or perhaps both. I'm going to look at this tower to see what it's telling me. Now, I've seen the tower card sometimes show up when it's an emotional outburst. People get angry. Okay. But that thing about facing the truth, sometimes that's what that is. Your crown getting knocked off. That's that aha moment, that epiphany. Like, oh shit, this can't stand. You know? Yeah. That kind of a thing. The Giovani Fanciulla. The La Nemica. Remember? I told you. Somebody, they were waiting, right? To strike. This was done on purpose. Whatever it is, it was done on purpose. And the Malinconia. Now that's an interesting set of cards. Because these are two, what do they call it? Significator cards. One of them is the Giovani Fanciulla, a Queen of Wands. The other one is a Queen of Swords. Now, what is interesting about this card and what is different from it than from the Il Nemico, the male counterpart, is this is somebody who has been looking you in the face like your friend. You've been telling them your secrets. You've been chucking it up. You've been having drinks with them. They've been over to your house, okay? And the whole time the person hated you. They disliked you. And what they wanted to do was to ruin you or embarrass you or talk bad about you. This is the card of sadness and regret. Okay? Realizing perhaps too late that you had it kind of good, okay? And now you're this is about living in the past. Now, I don't know what this is. I don't know if the living in the past relates to her. You did a wrong to somebody and they have come back to exact revenge, because that's what it feels like. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what it feels like. Now, I'm going to look and the reason why it has to do with these three things. And the reason why I say that is because that's what she's pointing at. This is where the trouble is coming from. Either a delayed meeting, a meeting that didn't happen, or somebody stood you up, but it was done on purpose. But they're also pointing here of having to take a step back on a moment and to rest and the end. Because I think you realize it cannot stand. Whatever this was, however it went down, it cannot stand. But it is over. Okay? Now. Yeah. I'm going to take a look at this Four of Cups. No? They say the Three of Swords. The falsità, lies, deception, falseness. The bambino. And the vedovo. Well, this can refer to a child, but basically it speaks to new things, or things that are being conceived, or things that are being born. But there's some lies all about it. Someone's been lying and deceiving you, and these lies, this heartbreak, this betrayal, done on purpose. These two cards are different. They appear to be the same, right? He's standing in the graveyard in front of a what do you call it? Cross. She's leaning on the rocks looking at a cross. This talks about pining for the way things used to be. And this says that this person it doesn't even have the ability to open their heart to love. This is a very negative card. Okay? So this was done on purpose. Let me formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. Some opportunity. And I think you walked into it. You walked right into it and didn't see that it was a trap. Because that's a card of traps and lies. Number 17. The Knight. I know him well, and he loves only you. Pining and aching, no other will do. A wedding is on the horizon, or perhaps an alliance with an important, noble, or powerful person is in the offing. It also speaks to academic diplomas, honors, or newfound freedoms or powers may arrive. Well, I think that whatever this meeting was that was on the horizon, this important person, that was completely blown up. And again, as I say, it was done on purpose. You know, I once knew a situation where I had a friend who met a guy, and she didn't know in the background that the guy had a girlfriend because he was cheating. And so he asked her to meet someplace, and then when she got there, he had the girlfriend with her, and the girlfriend beat her up in public in front of everybody while he stood by and he watched. Angel answer. Be assertive. This situation calls for you to take matters into your own hands. You must get clear on your personal feelings and then pursue the fulfillment of your desires with courage and self confidence. Ask for what you need without watering down your requests in order to satisfy others. Remember that seeing to your own needs is nothing to apologize for. Set boundaries with those around you in order to create a safe and fair environment. And then tailor your actions so that you earn the respect from others you deserve. And then move on. That's what I have for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Until next time, namaste.